So that's how we have to worry about climate change right now, by tricksters in Congress and in federal government that are lying through their teeth about everything concerned.
Yeah, so climate change itself is happening, but it is also
It always happens.
But it's a political ploy kind of
Well,
gimmick right now.
they like to take facts and then present them in the most remarkable ways that create havoc. Okay? Because 200 million years ago,
Yeah.
we had what was called ice ball Earth, a completely frozen planet. Wait, how did we get
200 million years
200
ago?
million years ago, it was either completely frozen or a slush ball Earth where everything would like the North Pole.
Wow.
Okay, that's how different it was.
And what was going on then?
We don't know,
How do we know it was like that?
because it shows up in the rock signatures from 200 million years ago in the Permian Triassic extinction event, and right after that event, when it warmed up, we had a complete dying. We had some event, the Permian extinction event. 90% of the Earth's species has died.
At 200 million years
200
ago?
million years ago. 90%, way
What
more.
was even around then? Like, was it Pangea then? Or
That was when Pangea started to break apart.
200 million years
200
ago?
million years ago. Yeah, when Pangea started to break apart, because Pangea stayed together, and we don't even know if Pangea. We know that Pangea came around like this and turned into Pangea.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like 300 million years ago. It was doing that kind of stuff. 500 million years ago. We don't know if it had done it again before that. We don't know that because it all came together and collided into a big rubble pile.
Yeah, I know we're going way off on some tangents, but this is interesting.
Well, see, here's what happens.
But hold on though. How this is what's even before that. How did all the plates form and then they broke at a specific spot? Or
No, well,
was it
see,
one plate?
No,
How did all
the
that work?
plates have always been here.
The
Okay.
tectonic plates.
As soon as the Earth cooled, at about 3 billion years ago, it used to be so hot that we didn't have plates.
Is that like red Earth or whatever? Is that?
Yeah. So when the Earth was, and we had so many comets coming in. We were in a comet stream that supplied most of the water on the Earth today. Okay, because the Earth's water was locked up in the rocks. Rocks contain a lot of water, but they don't want to give up that water. So they hold that water until you break them apart and pull the water apart. Okay, so the rocks, especially granite, when water and basalt get together and get compressed down underneath, they form granite, which is lighter than basalt and it floats. That's why our continents are made of granite. So that whole process had to be evolved after the Earth cooled. So after 3 billion years, the Earth starts cooling. The basalt starts interacting, going under the water, mixing with water, changing into granite way down deep, and then becoming lighter because it has water and in it, which is lighter than basalt. So it forms a lighter surface on a still molten area, and all of a sudden the granite continent starts to rise. So we had to have plate tectonics for enable to the basalts, which comes from all the volcanoes. For the basalt sheets and plates that we're forming, these had to subduct. When they subduct or go under, they carry water with them. Okay? When they go under and carry water with them and go real deep, they change, metamorphosize into granite, which is a metamorphic rock. Then this metamorphic rock is laying here in this molten bed, but it's lighter than the molten bed. So it starts to float. So what we have is all this granite from previous plate tectonics before our time, before Pangea, that formed Pangea. Yeah, so you could keep going back, but let's go back to Pangea. Pangea came together, a bunch of individual plates came together as all the granite came and went blam. And it would have been like a third of the Earth. And the problem is it stayed there for a while. It was comfortable for a while, except it started heating up. And it started heating up. And it started heating up. Because around this area here, the energy can't come out of the Earth because it's being blocked by the granite.
Did we have like a north and south pole as in we do now, like it was frozen? on one side?
Oh
of the
no,
Earth
this
or not?
frozen didn't happen until 200 million because the Earth was so hot on the surface at this
So
point
there
in
was
time.
no ice going on.
There was no ice going on anywhere here. Okay, we had continents that came together as disparate rocks, collided, formed into something, got so hot that the underneath melted, and then the rotation of the Earth just went along and dragged these continents. That's what happened, dragged them, and then the upwelling from the Atlantic Ocean, mid-ridges and stuff, they started producing more plate. And as those more plate come up and out, our continents start going around like this, and that's what we're doing. And we're going to come right back where we're going to, America's going to meet Russia, China, Japan. We're going to be one supercontinent again, and then most likely it's going to do the same thing and break apart and keep going. But it'll stay there for a while because the energy will hold it together until underneath it gets so hot, okay, it turns into like taffy, and then the Earth starts to turn. It's going to break it apart. It just, once it gets too hot, the granite and stuff will shatter and break apart into big chunks and stuff, just tear itself apart.
Wow.
And that's what happened before. You know, and that's going to happen in another billion years.
It takes about 1 billion years.
Well, it's only going to take us the length of our fingernails grow, so it's only going to be like 10, 20 million years, and we're going to be in Japan. The plates move at the rate your fingernails grow. So about 12 inches a year, 8 to 12 inches a year.
So that, because when the mountains, we were talking about this yesterday, right, Mike? Where I think I kind of always ask you this because it's hard for me to fathom. Like,
subduction creates mountains.
And how long it takes, because it seems to me like when anything hits, right, they hit with more force and then it slows down over time. Is that's
exactly what's happening, and it depends on the structure of what hits. The lighter structure will always raise two on top. That's just gravity. That's just energy. The heavier one will subduct. Okay, so the basalts subduct under the granite, and that's how the granites came to the top of the surface. But the mid-Atlantic ridges are opening and creating lava coming out on both sides, which is pushing the plates across. See, the Atlantic Ocean is gonna widen, and as it widens, the Pacific closes.
right?
And so the Atlantic's going to go like this all the way around when the Pacific comes together. And first off, the plates have to get solid enough and cool enough for the basalt to hit each other, and one of them has to go under the other, even though they're the same type of material. As it goes under, it drags the water, moisture, and changes. That happens first. That creates the major continents we have today. As those continents collided, because before then there would just be continents with small, shallow seas. This is where all the oil came from, because we had organisms, just microorganisms, living, plankton and shit, in these shallow seas around the entire world for millions and millions of years. Okay, this is Ordovician, I think it was. It's before the coal. The Permian was the coal. That was after the fact. This was when there was shallow seas everywhere. And as those plates broke up, those shallow seas were subducted with all those organic mass materials, and they went under the granite plates and got crushed and heated up, that all that organic material turned to oil.
That's your fossil fuels, huh?
That's the oil fossil fuels.
Oil.
Oil.